We are live! Well, not really live, but hey, we're at Czech Republic, Most track. This is the Czech track that really shouldn't be in the game, but they decided to do it instead of Bruno, and we are totally echoing through Martin's headset, just saying. And we are here in qualifying with this odd sight of Lachlan Nichols on pole position, and I am suitably confused. Martin, Mr. Matthew Higgs, are you guys also confused?
Not quite, as we already tried this recording already once today.
That doesn't alleviate the confusion. Like,
Oh.
I understand that Mike Stockmill is carrying a extra human being in his car. And God, Martin, your mic. Oh God.
I can't hear myself think anymore.
There's a lot of background feedback coming from Mr. Martin Edmonds. Please forgive him, everybody. So yeah, we've got Lachlan Nichols on pole position ahead of Mike Stockmill, Richard DeRoche, Sean Kenny, Wayne Hutchinson, Andrew D, who went into the pit, came out of the pit, and then hit a wall. And I'm gonna hope that there was an internet reason for that. Max Simons, Wayne Medeiros, and Martin Edmonds rounding off the top 10. A couple of new people. I think this is Stuart Hemstrom's first non-Academy race with us. He's in 12th place, doing quite well. We got a pretty healthy Academy turnout with Hemstrom, James Butler, Douglas DeGroot, and Vic Nash, as well as Academy graduate Joe Racer. And not Academy graduate, just unfortunately doesn't fit his schedule, Frederico Zvenger, rounding off the field.
I should join the academy.
I would not allow you to join the Academy. You are faster than everyone in the Academy.
Alright, is the mic better now?
The mic is better now, sir. Yes. So
My
these are the
apologies.
Aquilas that we, of course, love know and love. They're a free prototype car, and this is a track that may try to murder them.
A fair amount of those get murdered today, don't they, Mike?
Yes.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't here for the aborted commentary that was done. This is take 2 of the commentary, although I wasn't here for the first one, so everything is new to me. I mean, I was in this race, so obviously I'll know some things, but it's largely just back-of-the-pack stuff.
You guys let me know when you see the red lights,
Okay.
so that I can sync again.
Got some headlight flashing from Mike Stockmill. Impatient. Demands the sacrifice.
Demands we go.
Indeed, we are missing, looks like 2 cars have not joined the grid, so that is the holdup there. There we are. That was Max Simons joining up, and then it's whoever is starting directly ahead of Joe Racer is the final
there he
piece of
goes.
the puzzle. There it is, and the answer to that question is, we
Stuart
have red lights,
Hemstrom?
by the way, Martin.
Red lights.
No, it is James Butler who was the last one in. Hemstrom is to the side. It was the one directly in front, sir. And we are off, heading towards the first chicane, which will probably murder someone. This chicane is every time you get through this clean and like a good group of cars, you like deserve a round of applause because it is murder.
That
It looks like
pretty
the first chicane at Monza. It looks like.
Quite a bit, yeah. I would say
don't think it's as deadly.
It's not as deadly because you're not carrying as much pace, and also I don't think it's quite as sharp. Ooh, Max Simons and that is Andrew D getting a little physical.
Andrew Vitamin D.
I know they both got warnings for that exchange, which probably means we missed something that Max did that kind of justified the shove back, I would imagine. Whoa, James Butler is off.
This all started with Max and I touching there. Got him a little unsettled, and Mr. Butler, unfortunately.
I think he was unsettled before that, to be honest. I don't think he ever got settled after the contact with Andrew D. So
I
Mike
do approve
Stockmill,
of Stockmill's number.
69. You're very mature, Mr. Higgs. Very mature.
You just seen my number in the ACC race.
I did. That's what I'm saying. Totally mature. Nothing but mature.
No, not at all.
And we will be having a solo commentary for the ACC race tomorrow from Mr. Cole, and I don't remember his last name now. I'm like, it's McRae? Is it Cole McRae?
I think so, yeah.
Colin McRae.
It's not called that. We should be supported.
That will be his nickname from now on.
Moly, moly, moly! Taking
That's
advantage of
moly,
his lack of
moly,
ballast
moly,
to
moly.
put the pressure on Mike Stopmill, but Stopmill will hang on through the chicane.
And it is Colt McRae.
Okay, so Cole McRae will be doing that solo, and
John McRae.
Good luck to him on his efforts. I'm going to provide him with my cousin's last name pronunciation because I imagine
Ziggy?
No, Ziggy is not related to me. 1, and 2, his last name is super easy. It's just Zigomanis. My cousin has like 4 consonants in a row in his name. It's fucking weird.
What the hell is that?
It's called Slavic naming conventions, sir.
Oh god.
Oh, Magus. Almost got taken there.
It's Douglas DeGroot. I got this.
Oh.
Put him in the wall.
Admittedly, there is a section of this track where, and it wasn't just me, but a lot of the kind of guys towards the back of the pack got really light through the kind of. It's turn 6 through 9 on the track map, and it's kind of like just this S thing where these cars unfortunately get very, very light, and a couple of us had some significant problems through there. Actually had a whole academy coaching tip about probably not going for overtakes under circumstances like that. James Butler coming back through the field after his off as he overtakes Vic Nash.
Someone was wide there. Okay, I'm going to step away from the commentary. I will be right back. Maybe by the end of this race.
Looks like it was Douglas DeGroot who may have been wide as he is dropping through the order. Unfortunately, we still have that timing glitch, so we don't really know who's close to who by the standings, which is going to be a bit of a problem. But here is John Barker fighting with Christoph Verstappen. Christoph down in 10th place. That's a little bit uncustomary for him. He's quite quick in these.
I think he didn't get a good qualifying. Or no, was this the race he started from the back? Maybe.
Maybe. It's possible. Could be. Max Simons battling with Martin Edmonds. Max has had some incidents already in this race and has a little bit of a reputation with the community, but a good pass there. And Stuart Hemstrom is trying to body his way past Joe Racer. Joe having a pretty poor race. Joe's normally in the top 10. He's down in 17th position. Having some struggles here today. Enrique Hervas is another one that's a little bit uncustomarily low in the standings right now.
Michael Mangus is in Andy Blade's position right now.
I mean, I'll take 13th. I was having a miserable day at this track. Like I said, if you have one track from the Czech Republic, personally I would have preferred it was Brno, but I get why that is most.
Is it Brno or is it Brno?
It can be pronounced as both. I've never met a Czech person who will give me a definitive answer on the pronunciation, which could be a problem that I just don't know a lot of Czech people that are
My
racing
little
fans.
brother today called it Czechoslovakia. And I was like, you're a little late there.
Yeah. Oh, someone's heading into the pit lane.
I think that's Martin.
Is Martin Evans. Correct.
Oh, he told me that he underfueled for this, so he was pitting and it didn't give him fuel. So on the second time going out, he ended up speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, little contact there between Mike Stoffmill and Mr.
Mole,
Mole.
mole, mole, mole.
You know, I thought I'd really enjoy commentating on Mole, 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 but it actually kind of gets old after a while. Oh well. Joe Racer coming up behind, that is Vic Nash, so Academy graduate versus Academy driver. And normally that does not favor the Academy driver, we'll just throw that out there.
Are you in the academy?
I am not, I graduated.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
I technically could have done what James Butler is doing and throw a bunch of ballast on myself and compete anyways, because I'm in that kind of pace range area where Gustav Ekstrom and James Butler are. Speaking of James Butler, he is off the track again, perhaps proving why he does need the Academy still. Vic Nash gets passed there by Joe Racer. I think that was a little bit of dirty pool by Joe Racer, if I may say. Nothing illegal, but that was very close to a yellow flag. And he kind of jumped on Vic there, but you know what? You gotta stay alert at all times, and Vic is also going to lose his spot to Douglas DeGroot. Academy driver.
I think we should throw...
Also, having the admin of the Academy in the Academy, I don't know, it leads to less work being done by the admin. So probably better for me to to watch from the sidelines. Sean Kenny up on the tail of Mike Stoppmill and Mully. Stoppmill not pulling away like normal, and in fact is a little bit behind the lead truck car of Lachlan Nichols.
Because he's carrying an entire Byron Dirksen inside it.
Whoa. No, he is not. Byron is a large man.
Byron is a what?
Byron is a large man. There are pictures posted on the Discord that prove his size, at least relative to me and Martin, and it is significant. And neither me nor Martin are small people, so.
Douglas the Greek. No, that's Vic Nash, I think.
That was Vic Nash, yes. So Vic off the track having a moment there. I have been trash talking this track, but I don't hate it. I just generally prefer Bruno to this track.
You know one track I really don't like? Monza.
There's nothing wrong with Monza. It just tends to get overplayed, overexposed.
Really any track, and it's like absolute cancer on a public server.
Oh yeah, no, totally. But that's any popular track. If you go to like Imola, you'll get pretty cancerous. If you go to Hockenheim, pretty cancerous. Nürburgring, same thing.
There you go.
Martin Edmonds penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh no!
There is Mole still under pressure from
Sean
Kenny, and a little bit of breathing room there for Stoppmill as Andrew D and Richard DeRoche just for 4th place behind them. Christoph Verstappen continues his charge. He is up to 7th place now, ahead of Wayne Hutchinson, Max Simons, and John Barker in the top 10.
Is John Barker an Academy graduate?
No, he is not. He's been well above the Academy pretty much his entire time in the ESR, I would imagine. At least the entire time I've been here. Although he does predate me.
Who was the first Academy graduate?
The first ever Academy graduate was Noel Kahn.
Never heard of him.
Unfortunately, Noel's schedule is kind of... He lives in South Africa, so his schedule has unfortunately altered itself a little bit and left us with the inability to handle it. Although, technically the first person to lead the Academy was Andrew Inawaki, and he is welcome back if he wants, because he can still use the Academy. He really could.
Oh,
Throwing shade. Throwing shade.
Oh, shit's been thrown.
But yeah, the first ever graduate was the first ever champion, Noel Kahn.
Anybody that's really fast now graduated from there?
Josiah Jerome is, of course, the most famous graduate of the Academy. We have also graduated such luminaries as Nathan Edward, who's a pretty quick driver as well. Joe Racer, of course, who's, borderline top 10 guy at most races that he's at, although not so much today. Although he is actually climbing his way back through the field. He's up to 14th now. Max Simons putting the pressure on Wayne Hutchinson, and he'll get that job done. Wayne Hutchinson, actually, on your screen there. Academy graduate. And the man in 7th place is the highest ranking Academy graduate on the field today, and that is Christoph Verstappen.
Verstappen.
So a lot of Academy graduates in the field today, and a lot of people vying for that chance to be the next Academy graduate.
Give me ballast.
You would still be too fast.
How much ballast? Oh, Magus.
Ooh.
A little
Magus
dirty there.
A little touch with Wayne Medeiros. I'd have to wind that back and actually check that out. I honestly don't remember having contact with Wayne. So I'm wondering if this may be even a case of, like, the lag telling a bit of a different story.
Or it's just denial.
No, I will totally own up to when I'm driving poorly, and this entire race is poor driving, frankly. I just couldn't get into groove at this track, but that one right there, I don't recall contact, so I wonder if there was some kind of lag that would experience a bit of a difference there, as of course Wayne Medeiros is historically a high ping car due to his Brazilian nationality. he's coming back at me. So we'll see if he can get the job done here. Battle for 12th place. Up ahead of us in the great distance is Enrique Hervas. Can't see him. He's not completely gone because I can see cars in front. Oh, there he is. He's actually just entering turn 1. Okay. So we're still kind of close. Something happened to Richard DeRoche because he's dropped back to 10th place. He was battling for 5th last we saw him. So Medeiros overtakes Magus through turn 1.
The most beautiful livery in all liveries.
The Stuart Hemstrom livery, that is very nice. So, these are all actually quite good. I mean, some of them are just like one color that's a tad boring, but at least they are like very eye-catching colors. Not really a fan of the white one that Sean Kenny and Lachlan Nichols are rocking. That one is perhaps my pick for worst livery.
I do like the JPS livery and the Gulf Oil livery.
Here is Wayne Hutchinson, who is catching up a little bit to Max Simons there. But Simons has overtaken him before, so I imagine that will probably widen out a little bit.
Max Stoppel?
Yep, looking for the lead. And going for it into turn 1. Can he make it happen? He's got the tight inside line, but Nichols has got the inside for turn number 2. Generous track cut there from Nichols, but cannot hold the position. Actually, that was probably legal. They give you a fair amount of leeway with wheels off through that turn.
I can see that.
So Stock Mill to the front.
Let's be honest, we're not surprised.
Meantime, we have a battle here for top Academy honors in this race. Stuart Hemstrom and James Butler. Hemstrom, of course, second in the current Academy Series. The championship leader is not racing here on this fine day.
Who is that?
That is Rochelle Guerin.
Huh, never heard of them.
Rochelle Guerin is, the things you need to know about her are that she's the daughter of the head steward, Jack Hunvick.
Ah, that's who you're talking about.
Which is generally it's a good idea not to punt her off the track, just saying.
Cough, cough, Byron.
She has a background in motocross, actually, so she has some racing background, but
that's
it's not on 4 wheels. Tends to manhandle the car a little bit too much.
Well, in this world, that's a good thing.
And we got some traffic up ahead of the leaders now. That would be Federico's Wenger, if I were to venture a guess. Looks like we have lost Martin Edmonds at this point.
Yeah, and Martin said he gave up. So
that is the JPS livery of Wenger. Oh, unlucky for Moly Moly, and he's under attack from Sean Kenny.
Oh, is he going to get past him here? Come on, Sean.
That was a case of like... And to be honest, I don't want to say anything wrong about Wenger. That's just like, that's a really bad spot to catch up to like a train of people coming through a blue flag through that turn. Like, there's not a great way to get out of the way.
It looked like Moly outbraked himself a little bit.
Indeed, well, he was trying to avoid hitting Wenger, I think was the key.
No, he ended up going close to the back of him, it looks like, because Wenger was close to the outside, I think.
But it has allowed Sean Kenny to make the overtake happen.
Alright, come on, Moly. Let's see if you can get past him.
Sean's got a lot of ballast, of course. He's got the second most ballast, currently second in the standings to Mike Stockmill, and pretty much will finish there regardless of the results of this race.
Or races.
Races, indeed. Well, this round, let's put it that way. This is, of course, the sprint format, so we will have 2 races here today with a
2 25-minute races.
Top 8 reverse grid, I think.
That would make sense, judging by what happens later.
Here comes Mr. Bowley, and Andrew D is also kind of in the mix there. Andrew D has had a very impressive series here, really making a case for himself to take a Division 1 driver tag. Currently Div 2.
Is he the highest ranking Div 2 driver in this?
Yes, he is. Depends on Lachlan, if Lachlan's Div 1 or Div 2. Lachlan's problem is that we keep debating about how to handle the division systems, whether it is on a by-car basis or an overall basis, and Lachlan is shitty in tin tops. Like, not back of the pack or anything, but like he's Div 2 in a tin top, Div 1 in a prototype or an open wheeler, so it's a bit of a weird thing going there.
Interesting. I like the opposite.
I don't know what he was classified. Yeah, there's a couple of drivers like that. I mean, definitely, you know, there are people who shine in certain cars that like certain characteristics.
Me.
Well, I think all of us to a degree.
James Butler and Stuart Hemstrom fighting over 14th place here.
Indeed. Top Academy honors at stake. They are catching up to Mike Magus, who may have had enough. I do actually mean for a change may have had enough. I've like tried to blank the memory of this race from my brain, so not really have much going here. Also, Christmas, alcohol, fun.
Hangovers.
Didn't have much of a hangover, actually. The hangover developed really late in the day, which was kind of strange. Actually,
I only had one drink over Christmas, and that was today.
I'm actually kind of wondering, because the hangover isn't quite gone, I'm kind of wondering if I'm actually sick. Because I've been having some things that aren't really explainable by alcohol, so...
Post-Christmas coma.
So,
Nichols closing in on Mike Stockmill here.
Well, indeed, he does have that advantage of not having to carry around all the ballast that Mike Stockmill's rocking in this race.
That just shows how fast Stockmill really is.
Oh yeah, there's no one who can match Stockmill. I'm trying to convince an Australian buddy of mine by the name of Matthew Wheeler, who is quite quick. I don't think he'll be able to take the fight to Stockmill, but anyone that might be able to do something, I'm just trying to make it up. Wayne Medeiros overtaking Enrique Hervas. Hervas is really struggling to find these cars. He's a Div 1 driver, and he's down in 12th place.
Huh.
So Michael Magus is battling with, that is Butler and Hemstrom.
Oh, whoa, what's going on here?
Squeeze. Butler losing it a little bit there. Not sure what would have caused that. There was contact on the squeeze, but the movement was kind of...
There is still contact. There we go.
And there we go. Magus gets spun around by Hemstrom. He earned that, I would say. A little bit of defensive driving there that went wrong, and Hemstrom takes a shortcut across the track.
James Boutier
is giving this... Oh, actually, you know what I think happened there? Because I was talking about Stuart about this. I think he actually ran out of fuel there.
Oh, no.
If I recall correctly, I think he had at that... Or I don't remember what... I think he realized that he didn't have enough fuel at that point, and having, taken another car out and compromised his own race to the point where a pit stop would have probably put him probably ahead of Vanger. Frederico's is... We love Frederico's, but he is not fast.
I've heard some damn good things about Vanger.
He is the Dark Lord of the Sith, sir. He has finished the race on 2 wheels before.
I think I have once. It was a 2 front... Oh, no, it wasn't me, it was Dad. It was 2 front wheels at Silverstone.
Well, we have Butler, who is now on the trail of Joe Racer, his arch nemesis from the Academy. They'll be going at it. Richard DeRoche.
It's DeRucci.
DeRucci? Is that how it is?
DeRucci?
DeRucci. Okay.
I'm guessing it's French.
He's never corrected me on my pronunciation, so I've just been going with DeRoche.
Alright, come on, Lachlan.
Lachlan Nichols, the Lulchan, on the tail of Mike Stockmill now. Battle for the lead here in the closing bit of the race. 4 minutes and change to go. They're heading towards the... I want to say this is the last turn complex here. Yes, it is.
Christoph Verstappen up to 5th place here.
Verstappen on the charge. He's gotten Andrew D. and... Well, I think he's also been helped by some people tripping over one another. Most notably DeRoche, dropping back. And, of course, Martin Edmonds exiting the race with fuel consumption issues.
No, math issues.
I mean, it could be that you just figured he would have way better fuel consumption than he did.
Andrew gave you the D.
D running in 6th position. We had to figure out. We had to figure out who Andrew D's actual name, because he donated. He's obviously Andrew D is not his name. and we had to figure out what it was. So that was an interesting journey in admin life.
Wait, is his name first name not Andrew?
His first name is Andrew. But we have multiple Andrews, so when we get a donation from an Andrew, it's like, okay, that's not a last name we know. What do we got? Again, no one is required to use their real name. For one thing, we have no way of enforcing it. But it is good to have. It is good to having a proper sounding name, even if it isn't your legal name. I think racing is one of the few forms of video games where that kind of really is a thing you need. It just seems better.
For the commentator's sake.
Well, for anyone of the commentator's sake. I mean, World of Tanks was the worst. If you ever watched the WGLNA on that, I had to do commentary on that not had to, they paid me, so.
Well, lucky you.
But people would change their names constantly. You're like, I have no idea what this is. The worst was with me and Byron have a buddy who goes by the name Roush, RSH, in the game. After the Mustang. I'll hold off on finishing that while Richard Derushi makes his overtake there of Wayne Hutchinson to move back into 7th place. But anyways, the commentators just absolutely had no idea, so within like the same series of battles, they kept changing. It's like RSH, bunch of numbers, Rash, Rouge. It's like, really just need to ask these people how to pronounce their names. Probably the best, but that is the problem with gamer tags. Moly with a drive-through speeding in the pit lane. That's also someone who dropped out of the way and allowed Verstappen up into 4th. Moly, I believe, had to make a pit stop. I don't know if it was for damage or if it was for, like Martin, a fuel miscalculation, but he has picked up a drive-through penalty.
I didn't even notice.
So he would have just pitted not too long ago. I'd have to think it was fuel, because if he got minor damage, like, pit stop fixable damage, you would think he would have just pushed on with about, 1.5 minutes to go. So Mike Stockmill is going to lead us into the final lap. Lachlan Nichols is still there, looking for, I believe, his first ESR victory, although I could be mistaken on that.
I'm still looking for my first ESR victory.
There's a lot of people that are. Let's be completely honest on that one. There's, of course,
I still can't beat the Stoff.
Mike Stockmill takes a lot of them, and then there's the Academy guys who picked up a couple wins, but that's about it. Actually, Stuart Hemstrom, unfortunately, was denied on RaceApp his first ESR victory because the race did not count on RaceApp, which was a shame. It's one of the Lotus cars getting out of the way there of Lachlan and Mike Stockmill. That was either Vanger or Joe Racer. I'm not sure who. Probably Vanger.
Because Joe Racer's right here.
Yeah, here's Joe Racer, and he is not at that part of the track.
Walchin.
Come
on, Walchin.
Nichols, the Lal-Chan, the collector of bumpers.
Of crashing into pit walls?
Crashing into people in pit lane. One of the few Aussies we have running with us these days on a regular basis. Of course, had a couple of others in history. Brody Steen, Grant Patulu being perhaps the most notables. And he's making Mike move around. He's making him defend, but we're heading to the finish line unless he gets a really good run out of this. By the way, Sean Kenny's caught up massively with these guys. But,
slowing each other down here.
It is going to be Mike Stockmill who takes the victory from Lachlan Nichols and Sean Kenny. Andrew D, 4th, ahead of Christoph Verstappen, who crosses the line in style. Max Simmons in 6th place, good result for him. 7th for Richard
Simmons
Derushi. Hey, he's giving me permission. He's giving me permission to pronounce it however I want, and I'm taking it. And there is John Barker and Wayne Medeiros with a very solid 10th place. That would have been pole under our normal rules of top 10 reverse, but I believe pole is going to go to Wayne Hutchinson. Top 8 reversed. Enrique Hervas with a bit of a race to forget. He finishes in 12th behind Joe Racer and ahead of James Butler.
Is he been a quick driver in these cars?
What, Hervas?
Yeah.
He's usually Div 1 driver.
I mean, he's just not finding these cars.
I think it's all. Honestly, it's been he doesn't have the greatest racecraft in the world, and I've told him this. So I feel like comfortable, saying it. And he's not been qualifying well. I think he's a little too wild. He's getting a lot of illegal laps in qualifying. That's forcing him to come through the field. And when you don't have great racecraft, that makes it kind of hard. Michael Magus picking up 14th. Vic Nash finishing on the lead lap in 15th. Good job by him.
I'm back.
And Mole will come across the line in 16th, I imagine, because we are being shown Federico Zvanger as down a couple of laps. Also, at some point, we appear to have lost Douglas DeGroot. Oh, Vanger was out of the race. Okay, well, there you go. Let's see, what was Hervas' fastest lap? Nah, Hervas didn't even really seem to have a lot of pace. 38.4 fastest lap. That's actually over a second slower than Joe Racer. I imagine that's got to have some illegal laps to it, though, because he's kind of close to them to be at that pace. Hey, look, it's my car.
You guys found Byron yet?
Nope.
No, he did.
Grid is forming up here for race number 2, and it will be Wayne Hutchinson in the Tolman leading us away from pole position.
The Bananarama mobiles.
Indeed. Joining him on the front row will be Richard Deroche, whatever it is.
Derucci?
Deruche? Deroche.
Yeah, there you go.
Ricard Deruche.
Hey, I've been calling him Richard Deroche this whole time. He's never corrected me.
Autodrom must.
I have received pronunciation corrections from people before, but it's never been Grande Ricardo. Here we go. Red lights, and we are... Well, now I can see green. There we are. We are off. As we head towards... Oh, Enrique Hervas into the wall, so something happening towards the back of the pack. Wayne Hutchinson's gotten off to a good start. He is...
Oof.
Whoa!
Shoving.
First off there.
Some shoving off there done by, I believe that was Andrew D. shoving off Max Simons. Don't believe that was penalized, and Stuart Jack was looking at that closely, so I wonder if that was a little bit 50-50 argy-bargy, perhaps.
Argy-bargy, my favorite words.
I mean, they really shouldn't be. Whoa! Michael Magus taking a wrong turn at Albuquerque and ending up off the track. As Christoph Verstappen was going for a move there on Andrew D, and it did not work out for him, and has dropped him behind Lachlan Nichols and Race 1 winner Mike Stockmill.
I will update the leaderboard as you guys are doing this.
Sean Kenny running in 7th place, trying to make an overtake of Verstappen, who's off the track again. Verstappen just appears to be overdriving the car, trying to do far, far too much, as Martin Edmonds calmly makes his way past Stuart Hemstrom, who will be changing his name next race, so that'll be fun.
Zach!
You'll be Zach Hemstrom. Also, interesting note, Hemstrom is also not his birth last name either. It's his wife's name.
Huh, interesting.
That is weird.
We were having a whole talk about how I was wondering how he ended up with a Swedish, because he was like, I'm from the UK, I'm living in Sweden now. I'm like, well, how'd you end up with a Swedish last name? He took his wife's last name. So, yeah.
Interesting. The Swedish, yeah.
Welcome to Stuart Hemstrom Autobiography.
Yes, sir, you knew every race.
I'm always trying to give a little bit of a story to all the drivers on the grid as best I can. Only stuff that they have volunteered to me.
And you are correct about Simon.
Martin Edmonds overtakes 2 drivers, taking over Hemstrom and Nash.
As I was going to say, you were correct about Simon and D. They were side by side, shoving a little bit aggressive. Warning for both drivers for aggressive driving.
Max may have gotten a little bit lucky there then, because we know Max has gotten a couple of penalties in the past, and he is trying to correct his driving habits, and he's had some success, but His problem is he was treating every car like an F1 car, which meant he was braking way too late a lot of the time, as Douglas de Groot overtakes Stuart Hemstrom for 16th place. This is also the battle for top Academy honors, basically between Nash, de Groot, and Hemstrom in this race. James Butler, of course, also an Academy driver, but a bit of a weird Academy driver. Andrew D going down the inside of Wayne Hutchinson, and it's currently but he goes too far! And there goes the All-Canadian podium as Lachlan Nichols slips into 3rd place. He might have second by turn 1. And Mike Stockmill and Sean Kenny also have the inside line. Andrew D being left for dead, he's out of the slipstream and in trouble. Lachlan is going forward against Wayne Hutchinson. And it looks like Wayne has maybe held the position for the time being. John Barker and Max Simons having a fight there.
Seaman.
So rude.
Yeah, that's a Byron joke right there.
I'm still not Byron's jokes here.
Mike Stockmill up into 3rd, so both him and Lachlan have overtaken Wayne Hutchinson, and Sean Kenny is looking to do the same, not wanting to get caught behind the car for his rivals. This is playing right into the hands of Richard DeRushi, who is way out in front at this point.
Let's see if he can hold on for that win there at the end.
Moly's up to 12th, Edmonds to 14th, so those are our 2 guys who are coming back through the grid. Enrique Hurtlas, I think, is gone. He has shown us 2 laps down, which makes me think that whatever happened to him at the beginning there was slightly fatal to the car.
Maybe he just lost his nerve and was like, I'm not feeling it, I'm not concentrating.
Could be. John Kenny looking to the inside. This is where Wayne Hutchinson lost out quite big last lap. So we'll see if it happens again. There is Grande Ricardo out in front, with Lachlan Nichols and Stockmill battling behind him.
This is a close pack here, isn't it?
It usually is in the early stages of the reverse grid races. Andrew D. Andrew, that's not what the track is, Andrew.
Andrew, track
he
limits.
probably touched the grass there on his braking point.
Indeed, we'll see where he ends up rejoining. It's going to be behind behind Wayne Medeiros in 10th place now.
A solid 5 place loss there.
That's not a great place to be, because Wayne Medeiros can be a very, very challenging driver to get past.
He keeps his best move for you, Mike, I think.
I don't know about that. I'm not the only one who thinks that he's very difficult to overtake. He's one of 2 drivers in the 3D Speed Series, and I have had a couple of complaints that his defense may not be the most sporty. I'm also smelling something burning, so I may have to go investigate that. No smoke detector, so I don't believe we're on fire or anything, but
go for it.
Something does smell amiss.
Matt will continue the description here. We gotta take the training wheel off there, Matt.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Martin Edmonds coming up to James Butler in 13th place here.
Oof, look at that pack. Oh.
Ooh, a lot of fun here.
That was Sean Kenny on the inside there. Scary.
John Barker overtaking Sean Kenny, or attempting to. Oh no, Sean Kenny's on the inside.
Oh, he was polite. That's the Canadian in him. I think Sean has some kind of Canadian roots somewhere. Because when he first started with ESR, he had the Canada flag. So I never really investigated this any further. And suddenly it was an American flag, so...
We've been betrayed. Alright, got James Butler here battling with Martin Edmonds still. See if he can get past him.
Ooh, I went wide there.
Ooh, good pass. Can he keep it? And shuts the door on Martin Edmonds.
Ooh. I remember that. James has, I know I probably mentioned that last commentary, I don't remember if I did, but James Butler has improved quite a bit in a whole year.
That's the academy for you.
I've noticed some improvement on his consistency, which is key.
Consistency is key. Going fast is not really a terribly great thing if you can't do it lap after lap.
Yeah, for what I have in speed, I lack in consistency.
So Lachlan looking to the outside there on Mike Stopmill. I don't think he was really looking. I think Stopmill just went defensive or anything else, which, I mean, how often have we seen Mike Stopmill have to go defensive?
Well, when he's carrying a horse and a half.
Lachlan definitely putting together one of his best showings in ESR, I think.
Yeah, and I believe that Lachlan needs to be considered a top 3 kind of guy with the upcoming Formula US series.
For sure, we were talking about this while you were gone. Actually, he's definitely a top guy in open wheels and prototypes. He's not. He doesn't quite have that speed in tin tops, but he is quite the specialist.
Speaking of that, Mike, I will need you to assist with the juggling of the team.
Sure.
We'll have to get on that for sure.
There is one team that I was looking at earlier today, just out of curiosity. It looked a little bit overpowered. We'd probably have to give it a nerf.
Well, anything with Lachlan should not be with, Stopmill, obviously.
I don't believe they are. I think Lachlan's on my team.
Okay, and what about Verstappen?
I don't think he's signed up, actually.
Oh, okay.
So Christoph on the tail of, and Christoph's a weird one. He's got that top end, top tier pace, but he's a little bit mistake prone and a little bit prone to overdriving the car, which I've talked to him about a couple times, and he's in agreement. He's trying to correct it, but it's still a work in progress.
Well, last race he started last, and he ended up pretty high,
like 4th.
Yeah, but even in that race and then in this race, we saw some overdriving from him. Oh, someone is backwards.
Oh,
that is
looks
Sean
like a dangerous
Kenny.
rejoin there, Sean Kenny.
Yeah.
Indeed, Sean reported himself for that to the stewards and received a Tier 2 penalty.
Yep, that's a self-report by Sean. Even though that was his scratch result, he still lost 10 points to the overall picture.
I believe that has also ended his race. He joins Enrique Hervas in watching from the sidelines.
Quite a little boring watching from the sidelines. Of course, they'd love to be out here on the track along with all these brilliant racers.
Somehow I was talking with Jack about this, which led to Jack making the announcement that he did today about reporting things. Whoa! One of the Tolman cars off in the background there. That is got to be Verstappen. So, as if making my point from earlier.
Oh wow!
Journey across the sand trap. But anyways, apparently somehow Sean still ended up with a partial replay from this race, which was a bit interesting. So,
oh yeah,
there are some new requirements for a steward review these days, which Mr. Jack has provided instructions on via the Aquila.
Is Jack the head steward?
Jack is the head steward.
Mm-hmm.
It is his lone function to seek out bad driving and to terminate it.
Well, he hasn't found me yet.
Ooh, I should have done a Judge Dredd line there, because his avatar on Discord is Judge Dredd.
Judge, jury, and the executioner.
I cannot break the law. I am the law.
I'm above the law.
He is the law.
Call him Judge Jack Dredd. Stuart Hemstrom on the tail of Joe Racer, and there's James Butler, and Max Simons has had something interesting happen to him because he's back in 14th place now.
A strong showing from Zachary over here.
Hemstrom racing really for kind of nothing, because I do believe this was his first event and only event in the Aquila series. Just here for the fun of it.
Much am I.
John Barker up to 6th place, having a fantastic race.
Oh, little contact there.
By the way, as if to make our point there. I mean,
Oh,
somebody off. That is either Andrew D or Richard.
After
Looks like
that
Andrew D.
contact.
That's got to be Andrew D. But I was going to say is that we are seeing what we talked about earlier with the whole consistency thing. Wayne Medeiros is up to 5th place, started 10th. John Barker, I think, started behind him, or like one spot ahead of him, up to 6th place just by keeping it up until that point clean. So they kind of ruined my teachable
Compliment.
moment there. But
Well, who started last?
Well, that was you.
Exactly.
8th place.
I'm fighting for 5th, literally right there.
Indeed, that is Wayne Medeiros, John Barker, and Mole. Mole also a good example. He started pretty far back and is up to 7th place.
It's
He fell back.
disappointing what happened to me in race 1 because I would have had a good result.
And James Butler overtaking Max Simons. I was using Wayne and John, though, because they are Division 2 drivers who are currently up driving with the Division 1 guys, because some of the Division 1 guys, as Christoph Verstappen was off the track again there, I think. But yeah, Max Simons, Christoph Verstappen, Andrew D have all had, frankly, rather avoidable moments. And it has handicapped their races despite having a considerable amount more pace.
These cars are good looking.
They are, and I do like the whole history of the Aquila car company. So it's
I'll have to look that up sometime.
I mean, it's interesting to see a car company that started out as like a charity race idea, which was kind of intriguing. Martin Edmonds with an overtake of Mole there.
Did you know that the No, go ahead.
That's fine.
Did you know that the Autodrom Most was the first permanent racing facility in the Czech Republic?
Not surprising. I think they only have like 3.
That was Medeiros in the sand there.
Oh, Wayne Medeiros in the sand, ruining a possible top 5 for all of Brazil.
Oh, the sandwich.
Senna is not pleased. John Barker, Martin Edmonds, Mole, fighting over 5th place. Just behind them, it's Christoph Verstappen. Someone else off the track there. That is Hemstrom.
No. Oh, yeah.
It's Hemstrom. Butler overtaking him along with Simons.
That was sad. He was doing so well.
He's still going pretty solid. 12th place is very admirable for the Academy class.
Is he the highest ranking one in this? Oh no, James Butler's here.
James Butler is the highest ranking. Hemstrom is the highest ranking proper Academy driver, because of course Butler is a ballasted Academy driver.
He's just there for those racing tips.
He's there for working on his racecraft. James Butler's speed is something that we don't really question anymore. Now it's a matter of getting it down to the point where he can stay on the track the whole race and also race nicely with others, as he has had a little bit of a bullish reputation in the past.
Hopefully he can find some speed in ACC. He seems to be struggling with the Porsche in that.
He's had some good results there, I think. And it's, of course, a completely different game, unfortunately. Like, because all you have to do is look at John Peacham, who is actually fairly competitive in the ACCs, and of course is a Academy driver in Raceroom.
Nice.
I tried Raceroom recently after the update, and racing around Zolder, I couldn't get within like a second or 2 seconds of my fastest time in ACC. So.
Is it the same car?
Mole off the track a little bit.
Not even the same car.
He gets out ahead of him.
It was with the Corvette C7. I could only manage like a 132 when the fastest I managed in ACC is, I think, a 128.9 in the Audi.
The balance of performance and speed is not quite the same game to game, to be honest.
I guess it makes sense because I think the ADAC GT Masters has a different BOP than the Blanc thing.
Generally pretty much the same. Where the tracks overlap, they tend to be pretty close. Blanchepont tends to be slightly quicker, but I think that's also because Blanchepont is considered the height of GT racing in Europe, and as a result has more drivers that you can generally name on a given basis.
Many more pros. Oh, look at this 4-man pack here with Moly, Christopher Streffen, Martin Edmonds, and John Barker.
Indeed, Barker's still hanging on to that 5th place spot, so he's doing a very solid job of defending, although there may have been something with Wayne Medeiros earlier that was not reported to the stewards. But
Martin Edmonds up into 6th place from the back of the grid.
Indeed, doing a spectacular job.
Oh, whoa!
Moly and Verstappen are off!
The banana split.
Don't really know what happened there.
I don't either. That was just really strange.
Didn't look like there was any contact. They just both broke loose at like the same spot.
All I can say is I remember seeing that in my rearview mirror and look at the timing at the top, and I was quite satisfied.
Where have they rejoined? So Joe Racer has gotten past both of them, and it's gone really bad for Moly. He's dropped all the way back to 14th spot. Verstappen has recovered nicely. He's still in 8th, so he actually is in the same spot as he was, I think. No, he was ahead of Moly, so he has lost 1 spot to Joe Racer.
At that point, I didn't have to worry about Verstappen anymore, so I could focus solely on Barker.
On Jonathan Barcadero.
I mean, I prefer to have, no offense, Mr. Joe Racer behind me compared to Verstappen.
Shit's being thrown.
I mean, I guess it depends on your point of view. I'd prefer to have Verstappen personally, because if he catches up to me, I'm not really competing with him, so I'll just, don't have to waste time.
I knew Joe's space, so I knew I could outrun him a little bit more. Verstappen, I knew he was going to pass me. Oh, there we go.
John Barker on the inside against Martin Edmonds. Edmonds around the outside, and has got a way better drive there out of that corner. Yeah.
Looks like he just let him by, maybe.
I don't know about that, because Barker was going defensive. I just think that he just didn't get the drive he wanted off that corner.
Yeah, he's still sticking.
And he is still going for it, so I would say that was maybe... discretion is the better part of valor for the moment, but Barker is not done yet. And in fact, he has overtaken Edmonds.
Oh.
Hemstrom avoiding some contact there with Butler.
Did I see another car go around there?
Oh, Barker is falling off.
It's Barker falling back. No, Johnny B.
It was going so well.
I have no idea what happened there. I don't remember.
I wonder if he straight-lined the chicane by any chance, because he had overtaken you heading into the chicane.
But then I saw on the timing that I passed him, and then he fell right off.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he hit the curb.
Quite possible, yeah.
So, in the meantime, second-place battle between Nichols and Stoffel continues, and this man, we've seen very little of him, and he is losing ground, but he is still in the lead, and that is Richard Derucci.
Going for gold.
This would be, I think this would be Grande Hicardo's first win in a while at an ESR official event.
Richard, yeah. I'd have to go look. Probably won a couple of drop-ins. But
I'm still looking to best Mike Stoffmeal at something.
I mean, it can happen. I actually had a good battle with him in the GT4s on Wednesday before Christmas. It's a shame that will not end up on YouTube, because I got 2 podiums!
How come?
Because that was the races where my computer started crashing while I was recording.
Alright, well, make sure you let me know next time, so I can get it started if
it came out of nowhere, and seems to have fixed itself now. We successfully recorded the Enduro today without any hiccups, so hopefully I will be able to return to my recording duties for the Wednesday series.
Well, I'll still be there on Wednesday. Well, I'm out of town, but I'll be able to remote
and hopefully
connect.
I will be able to take on the Norris Ring.
For which cars?
These are for the GT4s. I'm in the BMW M4.
In Raceroom?
Yep.
Wednesday evening. And what time again in the East Coast, Mike?
That would be 8:30 Eastern is when practice officially kicks off, although I will generally boot the server up a little bit early with some extra practice time.
And then you'll get mad appeal for joining early.
Well, in fairness, we were actually trying to do that as a timing thing.
Yeah. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Didn't really want Wesley to boot the server up then, actually. I kind of wanted him to wait. But he had to go, so he got booted. And then he gave out the password, which meant then people could find it.
Shh, I didn't.
But we got the job done anyways. Sadly, my cousin wasn't able to race because he was passed out on the couch. From what could only be described as heavily intoxicated with liquor.
That's
We're
good,
used
I
to
guess.
that. We have Byron around.
He sampled like all the Canadian beers he could get his hands on.
I mean, that's believable. I approve of that.
Dude.
What time are you guys at?
We are at 1:35 remaining in race number 2.
34, 33, 32.
31, 30,
There.
29.
Okay, so you're about 1 second behind me. So
Yeah, it's pretty
we're
close.
in ballpark.
Michael Magus battling for
Michael
50th
Magus
place.
coming for.
Is he gonna push him out of the way?
Oh,
Yeah.
Nope.
Magus.
Nope.
Dirty
That's some
Magus.
dirty driving.
Oh.
There was
I
a
don't
lot of
know.
that. There was a lot of that into the chicane.
A little bit of history there between the Groot and you, or something.
No, not really. I got no particular history with Mr. Douglas DeGroot.
Who's the driver you have the most history with?
The most history that would have to be Joe Racer,
Academy?
or Rick Martell, because Rick and I have been racing each other since before we were in ESR, so he would probably be quite high on the list.
I don't think I've had many run-ins with anybody.
Joe and James Butler, though, I would say are my nemesis. They're the ones that have had the most contact with me. And of course, special notice to Lachlan Nichols and his pit lane driving.
That's a common theme in these commentaries.
I don't know if I have a nemesis. I mean, I guess Sean, because I used to be faster than Sean.
I mean, it's more
And
of
then
a
one day
it's
he was
more of
faster
a,
than me.
It's more of a rival if it's just like, you know, you guys end up racing each other a lot. Like, so like Rick would be like a rival, whereas like Butler and Joe Racer, I'm not gonna lie, there has been some moments of
I think my only run-ins
Andrew D.
was with Leandro at Hungaroring.
Andrew D has overtaken Hemstrom there for 10th place.
Also, I think this should be a rule.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you hit somebody off,
I hit
Oh
the grass there.
wait, whoa, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We know who my nemesis is. That Dutch fucker, Mark Clapzul.
Which he's not banned, by the way.
uh-oh, bad blood.
No. He was a weird character, let's just put it that way. And put it to rest.
I mean, in fairness, my only ever 0 win was totally thanks to him. By the way, Richard Derucci is coming. Oh, Lachlan!
Oh, right at the end, too.
He
Great.
finished in reverse, by the way.
Come on, Lachlan. Get it going. Get it
He's
going.
reversing.
That's illegal.
So,
Is
by the
it?
way, Verstappen and Joe Racer almost overtook me by the end there, because
Oh,
I ended up in the grass.
Verstappen did overtake you.
Yep.
Martin, you could have had a 5th place there, buddy.
Could have 5th place. Instead, it's a 6th place. And Lachlan does maintain his 3rd spot. Bit of early celebration there by Verstappen. May not want to do that in the future. But it is so it's Hutchinson, Verstappen, Edmonds, Racer. I think Simmons is done as well.
Boutelier,
Is the Groot gonna take out Magus?
Nah, he's not.
hopefully.
Oh, there we go.
I
Take
will
him out.
hold him to the line. And a 15th place for Michael Magus. Outside of Zuhai, this series has been a little bit of a miserable one for me.
Let's go see why. Well, you finished 12th overall.
That was really just because most of the people behind me missed races and stuff, so it was not over. Outside of Zuhai, where I ran at the top 10 for a while, and if I hadn't screwed up my fuel, probably would have had a top 10 finish.
Don't talk to me about screwing up fuel. God damn it.
I can and I will. Ooh, by the way, I think. Oh no, okay. So Mr. Mole looks like he ran out of fuel on the cooldown lap because me and Douglas both overtook him.
Oh,
Lachlan Nichols, way to
He is
go.
14. Lachlan with the fastest lap, and Richard DeRushi to the top of the time charts. Had a pretty good one himself, only about 4/10 off as the fastest lap. And as stated, Wayne Hutchinson and Christoph Verstappen getting the Tolmans into the top 5.
Good job, Richard, to holding off Mr. Stoffmill.
I'd say Stoffmill was more fighting with Lachlan the whole time, but
They are the only drivers in the 35s.
Indeed. Would you like to give us a rundown of the final standings there,
Yeah.
Martin?
It's finally updated fully. I just did that while you guys were commentating, and Mr. Stoffmill takes the overall win.
I'm
Surprise.
shocked. I'm shocked at a fall.
Yes. And then Sean Kenny, second overall with 698 points. Mike Stoffmill has 835 points. Second place, Sean Kenny with 698 points. Richard DeRuche sneaks in there, 635 points. And then we have Verstappen at 610 and Mr. Edmonds at 582. We have Maximum in 6th place, Lachlan and Wayne Hutchinson in 7th. They're both at 493 points. Now, to do the equalizer, I just took a quick glance at who had podium.
Lachlan has 3 podiums.
That's right. So Lachlan takes 7 overall. And then Wayne Hutchinson in 8th, Andrew D. 470 points on 9th. And we have Mr. Joe Racer, Mr. winner of Division 1 at 464 points.
Division 2, you mean?
Division 2 winner, sorry. Yes, my bad. And that's it for this championship. Good stuff, guys.
Hey, these are not fully up to date. James Butler got a penalty today, on this race, did he not?
Yeah, he did. So the reason why you don't see it is it's actually on his total points. So if you look at James Butler, he was supposed to get 38 points. He's got 28 points on his last race.
Okay, so you just didn't do it with the penalty column.
The reason why I'm using the penalty column for Sean and Christoph is because that was their scratch results.
I would just personally use the penalty column for the model.
I will from now on.
It looks a lot neater.
Yes, I will now use that and only use that from now on. The reason why I didn't do it from the get-go is only because I've been using it the other way forever, and this new feature, he added it a couple months ago, and I had not used it yet.
I like it.
Yes, I like it a lot too, now that I've started using it. But like I said, I was going to say, Sean and Christoph are showing penalties right now, and it's only because that was their scratch results. So someone who has a scratch results cannot have a -10 and not have the penalty. Everyone else got their penalty removed from their total points. It's just not showing the same way.
And your winner for Division 3, 15th overall, was Vic Nash.
Ooh. Does he need to change division? Not yet.
I don't think so. I think we're still seeing him racing with guys like Douglas DeGroot, John Picha, and Aldo Tavares.
Yeah.
So I'd say he's
Michael Vegas.
Even in this race, I had Vic pretty well handled.
It's too bad that Sarah Hunty dropped out of this, because at Zhuhai she was kicking ass.
She was very good at Zhuhai.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened after that. She just left.
Well, is perhaps I mean, you do have to adjust her score because her penalty is currently on a scratch.
Correct. You are right.
And it will drop her behind Robert Waddell. So, Robert,
I will do that.
I'm rule lawyering for you here, Robert.
I will do that right now. You're right. The scratch result should not be where your penalty is.
Unfortunately, it's the same with Timo Konecki, but he scored 0 points, so I don't think that
it doesn't really matter.
A particular need for that.
Yeah.
I mean, technically he should be behind Luca Gray, Rochelle Guerin, and Shannon Flynn, but all of them were not regulars in the series. So,
yeah, I'm making the adjustment as we speak.
I was surprised that Rochelle even signed up for it. Honestly, Saturdays tend not to be a time that really works for her. But anyways, that is all for Most, and we're gonna go talk about admin stuff. So,
yeah.